Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa, and the open beta for Overwatch is just about to hit, or hell, it's maybe hit already and you're watching this video as you play it. Good God. So I thought, why don't I give some very basic tips just to get you guys started. This isn't really a guide video, but it's more of a, I guess, kind of like a cheat. You know what, I'm going to call it a cheat sheety kind of video. I said sheet as well, I didn't say what you guys thought. So a cheat sheet, so kind of like an Overwatch Open Beta cheat sheet. Tips to get you started. That's what this video is called. So let's get into it. The very first one, and this is the biggest one, never, ever, ever, ever trickle in. Now, what the hell does that mean? It means don't go in on your own. When you see that your team is dead, and you will know this because you'll see skull icons everywhere in front of you as you're running back to the point. That means your whole team's died. That means the other team have killed everybody on your team. That means that if you go there, it will probably be like a 6v1. Or maybe your team's killed a few of them, it'll be a 3v1. Hell, it might be a 2v1. You're dead. You are absolutely dead. Do not go in. Because if you die, when your team respawns, they then move up the map without you. And then engage with lesser numbers, and it's bad. What you've got to do in Overwatch is really resist the urge to trickle in. So if you're faced with a situation where everybody's dead in front of you, just wait. There's no shame in just waiting, just holding around, waiting for your team to come up. In fact, you can use the command wheel thing, the order wheel. If you hold down C, it'll bring up a wheel, and you can select various like simplistic commands. Select group up, because you're telling your team, hey, just group up with me, then we go in. It's very simple, but it will win you more games if you go in as a team. Don't go in like half-arsed kind of, well, trickle. Don't trickle in, because that's bad. Go in as a big unit because you've got more chance of winning. So the second tip, this again really annoys me, and oh god, whenever you see this big German fellow with a massive hammer, well, he might have an axe, depends on what skin he's got, but he's a massive German fella in big, massive, bulky armor, and he likes to deploy this thing called a barrier, which is this big, rectangular shaped blue shield. Oh, it might be a different colour depending on his skin, but it's generally blue, right? Big shield, right? Big shield. You don't think to yourself, oh no, the shield's up, I can't possibly break through that, I will not fire at it. No. You shoot the barrier. That's what it is, it's barrier. I keep calling it a shield, but hell, it's a big shield, right? But it's his barrier. You shoot it, you absolutely pile everything you've got into that, unless there is a more present danger. So if somebody's jumping all over you like a tracer, well then maybe shoot the tracer instead of shooting Reinhardt's shield. That probably would be a good plan. Or, you know, that kind of stuff. But always shoot Reinhardt's shield, because there's one thing Reinhardt players absolutely hate, and that's when their shield gets destroyed. Because, oh dearie me, my little shield barrier is gone. Uh-oh, I can't protect my team anymore. Uh-oh, oh dear, I'm not as effective. Oh dear, oh dearie me. Always shoot that thing. It really annoys me when people stop firing at it. It is not... Okay, people behind it don't take damage, but the shield, the barrier itself, takes damage, and it will explode, and Reinhardt will not be happy. And then you can put more damage into the enemy team, and it makes Reinhardt... Well, it nullifies him, because the main thing with Reinhardt is he can protect his team while they're firing through his shield at you, which is very good for choke points, but if you ain't got a shield, you can't do that. The third point is communication. Please communicate with your team. Now, on whatever level is comfortable for you. I don't expect you to be sitting on the microphone going, hey guys, how you been? I've had a great day today. I went out and I did this and I went shopping and I bought some milk and blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. On the other hand, we don't want people going into the microphones or going into the chat and being abusive. Oh, you need to change your hero. Don't play that. Blah, blah, blah. No, what I mean by communicating is make sure you communicate in a level that is comfortable for you. So I think for me, the most comfortable thing for me, generally when I go into a game, I'd go onto the VoIPs, I'd use the microphone and I'd say, hey guys, or something like that. That's it. Some people may reply to me, some people won't. But then when I get into the game, I'm not going to say to people, you need to change from Winston to Reinhardt, mate, because that's not very good. Don't do that. Because honestly, it doesn't matter that much what heroes people are playing at this early stage anyway. And remember, the open beta is all the stats are going to get reset, so it doesn't really matter. But what I will do is I will shout out basic stuff. And I actually made a video on this where I went into detail and said, look, if there's a tracer behind you, you should probably say, tracers behind us, guys. Now you can say that through your microphone if you've got a mic. If you don't have a microphone or you don't want to speak, you could just simply type it into the chat, tracer behind. People will understand and then they'll be able to react. Having that information is critical in Overwatch, because if you don't know where people are, or you don't expect there to be a tracer behind you or some sort of anybody else behind you, like a diva or whatever, just knowing that it's there will again make you win more games. So it's good to talk. Always play the objective. Now this kind of harks back to games like Battlefield. Play the objective. Yes, it's great sitting on a hill 1,000 miles away from the battle, sniping people, getting loads of kills, that's fine, but your team loses because you're not capturing points. It's exactly the same with Overwatch. You need to play the objective. don't think, oh, I need some sort of MLG, Elite, Source, Pro, Sniper bullshit score where I've got no scope, whatever the hell the saying is. I don't even care. You do not want to be sitting there at the back as a Widowmaker, just, I don't know, trying to get kills but not actually moving up with the team. I don't know. I think actually Widowmaker's probably a bad example of me, because that's what you'd expect Widowmaker to be doing, because if Widowmaker's killing people and your team pushes up as a unit, then that's actually good. What I'm trying to say is play the objective. Don't shy away from the objective. If sometimes it makes sense for you... Oh, okay, let me give you a good example. Much better than my Widowmaker example, which was absolutely terrible. If the point is... If it's going into overtime, right, and there's maybe 2 enemy players on the point, you need to get in there and contest it, whether that's the payload or one of the control points or whatever. You've got to get in there and you've got to contest it. That means you're probably going to die. But by sacrificing yourself, you give your team a chance to get back in and contest that point. That's playing smart. That is knowing you are playing the objective. What you could easily do is just sit back and try and shoot them on the point, but oh dearie me, the overtime thing goes off and then you lose. No, you've got to play the objective. And if you get that into your head, Overwatch is a game about playing the objective, and then when you get better at the game, you can start changing your hero when it's more applicable in certain situations. I mean, you'll see basic stuff like people will change to Winston or they'll change to Diva if, say, at the end of King's Row, the payload is about to go onto the point, but you want to just dive onto it and try and force it. People will do things like that. I mean, it's easily countered, and again, you'll get to that point eventually. But that's just more to do with learning the game as a whole. I think the final thing as well, which does kind of relate to what I've just said, is don't just play one hero. It's the open beta, so just try everything, I guess, right? But my point is, don't just sit there and play a hero over and over and over again if you know it's not working. If you're playing as a Tracer and you're constantly getting shut down by a McCree, maybe swap out of the Tracer and go for something else. Because number one, it'll keep your sanity because you're not just going to die over and over again. And number two, it's going to make the enemy McCree think, oh, what have I got to do now? Or it's going to change up the enemy team, changes the dynamic of the game, and something different can happen. Now, a little disclaimer, it is the open beta, all of the stats will get reset, so by all means, do whatever you think you want to do to have fun. I mean, if you want to just play Tracer non-stop, well then go and play Tracer non-stop. But just do be aware that maybe it would be for your own sanity a little bit better just to swap. Now, what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is do a more in-depth guide. I've just slapped my microphone stand. I apologise. A more in-depth guide on more like... on basic aspects of the game, but in more detail on those aspects, ready for launch. Because you guys are going to be playing the open beta now. You're going to know what the game's about. You're going to obviously get a lot of experience, which is way better than any video I could show you guys. So, yeah, but I just... show this video to people if they're having some sort of trouble with the open beta, because those are, I think, the 5 tips I went through there, where if you listen to what I said, you'll probably have a much better time playing the game. And please shoot Reinhardt's shield. For God's sake, shoot the shield. Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. If you like the Overwatch stuff, then like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. And I'll catch you next time, people. Toodaloo.